They say time travel is just a myth, but what if it's already happened and no one noticed? One photo, one story, one strange glitch, and suddenly, time travel doesn't feel so impossible. Here are 10 real time travelers caught in history. In 2003, a man named Andrew Carlson stunned Wall Street. With just $800, he somehow made $350 million in 2 weeks, and not a single bad trade. When the FBI caught him, he didn't deny it. Instead, he calmly said he was a time traveler from the year 2256, using future knowledge to play the market. He even promised to reveal the cure for AIDS and Osama bin Laden's location if they let him go. But before anyone could fact-check him, Andrew vanished. No trace, no record, nothing. Some say it was all a hoax. Others believe he was pulled back to his own time. Either way, the man who beat the market disappeared for good. But if a man from the future could outsmart Wall Street, what about someone who came from a country that never existed? Tokyo, 1954. A businessman arrived at Haneda Airport with a passport from a country no one had ever heard of, Taured. The passport looked real, stamped by real airports, and his documents all checked out. But when officials showed him a world map, he pointed to Andorra, insisting that was his homeland, Taured. Confused, authorities placed him in a hotel room under guard. By morning, both the man and his papers were gone. Windows locked, doors watched. No one saw him leave. Was it a prank? A cover-up? Or did a traveler from another reality simply slip back through the crack he came from? That was one traveler who slipped through the borders, but the next one slipped through time itself and got caught on camera. A simple black and white photo from 1941, a bridge reopening in Canada, became one of history's strangest mysteries. Among the crowd, in old-fashioned suits, stands one man who doesn't belong. He's wearing modern sunglasses, a hoodie-style sweater, and a printed t-shirt decades ahead of its time. In his hands, a small camera that experts say didn't exist in the 1940s. The photo has been examined countless times. No signs of editing, no trick photography. So who was he? A time traveler on vacation? Or just someone history forgot to explain? Either way, the man looks right at the camera, almost like he knows we'd be watching. A photo can freeze a moment, but what if a machine could see every moment in history? In the 1950s, Father Pellegrino Ernetti, a respected monk and scientist, claimed he helped build a secret device in the Vatican called the chronovisor. It could, he said, see through time. According to Ernetti, it worked like a TV screen that played scenes from the past, from ancient Rome to the crucifixion of Jesus. He even showed a photo of Christ on the cross as proof. Later, people called the image fake, but no one could explain certain details that didn't match the supposed source. The Vatican dismissed the machine, yet also banned anyone from using such a device, which only made things stranger. Was it just a myth, or a secret too powerful to reveal? The Vatican may have tried to peek into the past, but the US Navy? They might have ripped straight through it. In 1943, whispers spread through the US Navy about a strange experiment in Philadelphia. The goal was simple: make the destroyer USS Eldridge invisible to radar. But witnesses said something far more terrifying happened. The ship vanished completely, only to reappear in Norfolk, 300 miles away just minutes later. When it returned, crew members were said to be fused into the metal, some insane, others missing. One sailor, Carlos Allende, later claimed he saw the event himself and that the experiment tore open a hole in time. The Navy denied everything, calling it a myth. Yet declassified documents do confirm electromagnetic tests that same year. Maybe they were hiding more than just a radar trick. When science goes wrong, it can destroy ships. But sometimes it just drops a man out of another century. New York, 1950. A man appeared in Times Square wearing clothes from another century. A tall hat, vest, pocket watch, and all. He looked lost and confused, wandering into traffic before being struck by a car. In his pockets, police found 19th century coins, a letter from 1876, and a bill addressed to someone who'd been dead for decades, all in perfect condition. When investigators traced his name, they found a missing persons report from 1876 for a man named Rudolph Fentz, with the same face and age. Some say it's just a story that got out of hand, but the first reports appeared long before anyone claimed it was fiction. So who was he? A ghost or a traveler? He seemed to be lost in time, but these two women entered it head on. In 1901, two Oxford professors, Charlotte Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, took a quiet walk through the gardens of Versailles. But as they strolled near the Temple of Love, everything changed. The air grew heavy, the world around them fell silent. Suddenly, they saw people in 18th century clothes, a woman sketching who they later believed was Marie Antoinette herself. When they returned days later, the gardens looked completely different, back to normal. They wrote everything down in a book called An Adventure, describing what they believed was a real time slip. Years later, historians found that their descriptions matched buildings and paths that hadn't been restored until decades afterward. Whatever they saw, it wasn't from their time. That was 1901, but a century later, a new kind of time traveler would arrive, this time online. In the early 2000s, someone calling himself John Teeter began posting online. He said he was a soldier from the year 2036, sent back to recover an old IBM 5100 computer. His tone was calm, detailed, almost too believable. Teeter spoke about a coming civil war in America, rising global tension, and machines that could think for themselves. Not everything he said came true, but some predictions hit close, like growing surveillance, AI-driven systems, and Russia's aggression. Then, as suddenly as he appeared, John vanished. No trace, no follow-up, no real name. Some think he was just a hoaxer ahead of his time. Others think he's still out there, watching the timeline play out just as he warned. He warned the world from behind a keyboard, but the next man met himself face to face. In 2006, a Swedish plumber named Håkan Nordqvist was just fixing a leak under his sink until he found something impossible. Crawling deeper, he said he ended up in a tunnel and on the other side, met himself from the future. His older self was around 70, calm, smiling, and showed him a tattoo on his arm, the exact same one Håkan had. The two laughed together and Håkan even filmed it. The video went viral, showing two identical men with matching tattoos. Skeptics later claimed it was an ad or stunt, but Håkan never confessed to faking it. Real or not, the clip remains one of the eeriest self-meets-self encounters ever caught on camera. That was strange enough, until a decorated war pilot flew straight through a storm and into another time. In 1935, Royal Air Force officer Sir Victor Goddard was flying through a violent storm over a deserted airfield near Edinburgh. The sky twisted, thunder roared, and then suddenly, everything went silent. Below him, the same airfield looked brand new. Yellow painted hangars, shiny planes he didn't recognize, and men in blue uniforms instead of brown. Minutes later, he flew out of the storm, and everything went back to normal. 4 years later, the airfield was officially renovated, exactly as he had seen in that vision. Goddard was a decorated officer, not a man given to wild stories. To this day, his detailed report stands as one of the most convincing time slip accounts in history. Maybe time travel isn't science fiction. Maybe it's just science we don't understand yet. Hit like and don't forget to subscribe for more strange mysteries.